You look beautiful.
Thank you. Ready. Look at my sweatshirt.
Can I say hi? Mm-hmm. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. I'm actually looking at these. Aren't they so cute? Like all together.
Yeah.
I should make a display somewhere.
Very cohesive
Isn't that
brand.
cute though? Like honestly. Cute.
Well, have a happy Saturday, everybody. Go do something fun. Okay, well, have fun.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Love you.
Love you too.
Bye. Oh, wait, babe. Can you grab one thing?
What?
I think I have a Glossier lip balm.
Coconut balm?
Yeah.
It's so cute!
Thank you.
Can I try it?
Sure.
Is it good?
I mean, I use other ones more, honestly, but...
Nothing beats the agave lip mask.
That's what
lip
my
mask,
problem
what do you call it?
Lip
treatment? Lip mask.
mask.
By Bite Beauty. Tylen ordered another one for me on
From
Sephora. That's how much I love it. I'll link it down below.
No, it is so good, so...
Love you, have fun.
Bye. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm super excited because I'm going to be doing a full face of Glossier products. Now, I mentioned in my last video that I have almost every product they've ever made because I really resonate with the brand. I love how they market their products. They're just such a cool brand. I've been talking about them for a very long time here on my channel. You guys know I use the boy brow like in every tutorial. However, I have never sat down and used all these products together, which is kind of insane because I'm sure they're formulated to kind of work with one another, but I've never done that before. So I asked you guys if you would be interested in seeing a video like this, and so many of you guys said you would be, so I'm really curious to see how it's all gonna look. I'm especially curious to see what it looks like with my acne scarring and my active breakouts as well, because I feel like Glossier is the ultimate like no makeup brand, and I'm just wondering if these products are gonna work for someone like me altogether. Obviously, I love these products on their own, but I think the reason why I haven't used them all together is because of my acne, and I just feel like I need more coverage sometimes, and so we're gonna kind of put it to the test and see how this goes. I came prepared for the occasion. I'm wearing my Glossier sweatshirt, which you guys know is like my favorite thing in the whole entire world. Every time I travel, I wear this sweatshirt. Every time I just need something cozy. Oh my gosh, I love this sweatshirt so much. So let's just get right into it. I'm gonna kind of prep the skin. I will be letting you guys know what products I prefer over other products. However, there are not going to be any products in here that I dislike, okay? Because there are a couple things that I've tried from Glossier that did not work for me, and I am not using them in this tutorial. Everything in here are things that I'm pretty familiar with, and I'll be sure to kind of let you know what my favorite things are, just in case you're interested in trying something out from the brand. But let's start by prepping. So I'm gonna go in with the Glossier CoconutBalm.com lip balm. If I'm 100% honest, I have not used this in a very long time because I do like other lip balms a little bit more than this. That is not to say it's a bad lip balm at all. This coconut one really tastes nice. I've heard the mint one is really good, and that seems to be people's favorites, but I have not tried that yet, so maybe I should pick that up and see how it compares to the coconut one. Next, I'm gonna go in with the Glossier Super Bounce Serum, which looks a little something like this. This is something that's a little bit newer to me in my collection, but I picked it up because it has hyaluronic acid in it, which is so good for really moisturizing the skin. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of that and kind of press it into the skin just to prep. This isn't gonna be like ultra hydrating on the surface, but it will really sink down into your skin and it will make it feel very nice. My skin turns like so red every time I touch it. I just have very sensitive skin apparently. Next, I'm gonna go in with the Glossier Priming Moisturizer. It looks like this. Now, this is another one of those products that I don't hate. I just don't find myself using it as much as other products. Does that make sense? I'm just trying to be real with you guys, but for the sake of this video, of course, I'm wanting to use all these products together. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of rub that in between my hands and press this on the skin. It definitely feels really nice on the skin. Already, I feel very hydrated, and so I think that the products that I use next will really sit nicely on top of my skin. Okay, we're gonna go into the Glossier Skin Tint, which looks like this. I have 3 shades of this because I first bought the light shade, which looks like this. Doesn't that look like it would match me? Craziest thing, this is actually too light for me, which is just insane because I am very fair. So I would recommend going a shade darker than what you think. So the shade I've been using most is medium. I also picked up the shade dark dark for my vacation so that if I self-tanned or anything, I would have something a little bit deeper to kind of tint my skin. I've been really liking this product for when I know I'm not going to wear a full face of makeup, but since I have quite a bit of uneven splotches on my face, I like this to kind of even it all out. So I wouldn't say it has very much coverage at all, which is kind of interesting for me because I typically do go for something more full coverage, but you'll see how it kind of just evens out the skin tone. It's not going to provide that much coverage. Just flew out of my hand. It's not going to provide that much coverage though. It is kind of buildable, but I'm probably going to use concealer for most of it. So I'm just going to kind of draw some zigzags on the skin. I usually like to apply this with my hand. So I'm just going to take it and kind of distribute it evenly across the face. They did actually recently reformulate this, and I'm not too familiar with the original formula, so I don't really know what the changes were that were made. Regardless, I like this formula, which is the new formula, so. Okay, can you kind of see how it just evened out my skin tone very slightly? That's what it does. I'll kind of try to show you how it builds up. Again, this is not something that you're going to be excited about if you like something very full coverage. The nice thing about this though is it really just looks like skin. So skin tint is the perfect title for it, I feel like. And by the way, it's blending on top of the priming moisturizer very nicely. So it just lessened my redness. It did not get rid of it at all. You can still see my blemishes, but for people who really like the no makeup look, I think that you would actually really like this. It's also something that you could use before foundation if you wanted to, or if you were spot concealing like I'm doing today. It's a really great product to just kind of make your skin look more even without looking like you're wearing any makeup. So here's the part that I'm a little bit nervous about because I just recently tried out the Glossier Stretch Concealer. The only shade that I had though originally was the, oh my word! So I picked up the shade Light first. I've used this under my eyes before and I really like it. I use this for like no makeup days, but it's a little bit too light for my blemishes, so I just actually got this in the mail today. This is the shade Medium, and we're gonna kind of play with this on my blemishes. So I'm gonna start with that. I've never used this with a sponge before, but I'm gonna give it a whirl. So I'm just dipping my Flower Beauty sponge into this concealer, and I want to see how that looks over my blemishes. So I'm just kind of pressing it over top. This concealer also kind of gives like a more natural kind of coverage. So that's why I'm really curious about how this is all going to turn out, since I do have so much acne, but I'm going to do my best and kind of see if I can still create that like no makeup look with the coverage that I prefer. So this is kind of being a little stubborn right here. Definitely does not seem to be covering like I would like it to. So I just actually mixed the two colors because I felt like the medium one was a little bit too yellow toned for my blemishes. So I'm just dipping back and forth between the two and I'm just building it up. I'm trying to get the coverage that I would like. Obviously, I'm okay if a little bit of my blemishes show through, but I'm trying to get it to where I would feel really confident going out in public, you know? So I don't want too much redness showing if I can help it. Oh, I should tell you too, I filled in my brows off camera with the MAC Shape and Shade Brow Tint. I used a slightly lighter shade than what I've been using though, because I am going to use the boy brow and I didn't want to like overshadow the boy brow, you know what I mean? So I used a lighter shade just to kind of get the shape down, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to see my brows, and the boy brow on its own with my brows looks funny because it only enhances like the 3 brow hairs I have. What I'm kind of gathering here using this concealer as a blemish cover up is if you have just a little bit of redness, maybe some smaller blemishes, I think this would work really nicely and you wouldn't really have to worry. Anything too much crazier is not really getting that much coverage. So that's just what I'm observing. Obviously the finish of this is very like glowy. It's very glossy, very glossy. I might come back to this. Maybe I'll try to let it set and see if it will build up even more. I'm gonna go in with the shade Light though, and I'm just gonna use my finger with this. And I'm going to go ahead and pat this underneath the eyes. I'm kind of in this inner corner here. Maybe take what's left and put it on the eyelid just to kind of brighten up and cancel out dark circles there. Like I said before, this is a more sheer, no makeup kind of concealer, so it's great for those days for me. It's really undetectable if you take time to warm it up with your finger and really just pat it out. That's one thing I really like about this concealer is, honestly, it does not look like heavy makeup at all. It just brightens it ever so slightly. Oh, I just decided to put my finger into the concealer, and honestly, that seems to be covering it up better than the sponge. Oh, wow. Okay, so maybe applying it with either a brush or your fingers is better in this case, which makes sense maybe. Maybe the sponge just kind of picks up too much product because of the texture of this. I mean, obviously you can still see the texture of those blemishes, but they're not nearly as red as they just were. I'm glad I tried this. I'm just kind of making sure to really blend that out though with my finger. So here's what we've got so far. The complexion looks very dewy, very evened out, and it doesn't look like too much. The only thing is this right here. I think that I would probably use a different concealer for larger blemishes like that, just because I keep adding on top of it and then it kind of seems like it just disappears, like it's red again. So we'll see though, because I have the Glossier Wowder that might give a little bit of coverage. I really like it for under the eyes and for evening out any skin tone issues that didn't get evened out with the skin tint, but for more prominent blemishes, I think I would probably use something else at this point at least. Okay, so the one thing that Glossier does not have is a bronzer, which they need, like even a stick bronzer. I know that they have some of the Halo Scope highlighting sticks in deeper shades, and sometimes people use those as bronzers. I unfortunately don't have a deeper shade in the Halo Scope, so maybe I could try to use the skin tint in the dark as my bronzer. Should we try it? Let's give it a whirl. So here's the dark shade, and let's see if it does much. Okay, it did a little bit. I might even try to pick up like the next deeper shade and see how that works as like a contour. I feel like this formula would actually be really nice to contour with, just because it is so sheer. It would just look really, really nice. So as you can see, it is adding some depth back into the face. It is nothing crazy because it's not a bronzer, but it's doing something. It's very subtle though, like very subtle. But I kind of want to keep it like this. Like I was going to use a different bronzer, but I think I want to try to keep this entire thing Glossier if possible. Oh, I'm so curious. I need to buy the next deepest shade because I think it would look really nice as a bronzer slash contour. Maybe not, but it's gonna be worth a shot in my opinion. Just blending it down the neck too. So now let's move on to the cheeks. I have the wonderful Glossier Cloud Paints in every shade, I'm pretty sure. These are their two newest shades, which are so pretty. These would look especially beautiful on medium to deep skin tones because there's such intense colors that I think it would just really add the most gorgeous flush to the cheeks. These two shades, in my opinion, are a little bit dark for my complexion right now. So I have, and this one too, this is called Haze. You can sheer these out if you are a little bit more fair, but for like an everyday situation, I like using some of the lighter shades. So I think I might use Dusk or Beam or Puff. Let's use Dusk. This seems to be the one that I usually use, and it's actually been a while since I have used this. These blushes will work on pretty much every skin tone in my opinion. It's just preference, but I'm just gonna take some on the back of my hand first to kind of warm it up, and then I'm gonna smile and just apply this to the apples of the cheeks, and I'm gonna kind of blend it backwards toward the temples. Oh, that's so pretty. I forgot how good this is. Really subtle kind of nude, barely there flush. That's nice. Maybe I'll show you a little bit of Beam, which is definitely a bit of a brighter peach. Brighter. Oopsies! I got a little bit too much on my hand. This is Beam, and it's more of like a pinky peach. Ooh, it's so pretty though. Let's add a little bit of that just on top. It makes me so happy. I love these. I'm just gonna take what's left on my fingers and kind of pat it across the nose, just to kind of look a little bit sun-kissed, maybe some across the forehead, and maybe I'll even put a little bit on the eyelids, like maybe just a little, just for some definition there. Okay, just made me look a little sunburnt, but that's all right. Cute. Okay, let's go into the Glossier Halo Scope highlighter. I have the shade Quartz. Here's what it looks like. It kind of has like a balm in the center. Can you see that? And then there's the shimmer around it. That kind of creates a more balm-like finish. So I just like to kind of tap the skin with this, Like I apply it directly to my skin and then kind of blend it out with my finger after. But you can really build it up. The glossiness of the balm in here will add a highlight in addition to the actual highlight itself, but it's really, really subtle and natural. It looks so nice. Wow, I look so healthy. It has been such a long time since I've used cream products all over my face like this, and I just feel like it looks really healthy. Like my skin overall looks really plump and hydrated. I'm just still not sure about like the coverage of everything at this point. But I am having like a lot more breakouts than usual, so I'm trying to remember that. But like, oh, I look so hydrated. Do you see that? Do you see that? Alright, so we're gonna go into the Glossier Powder. This is such a great powder because the packaging, first of all, is awesome. There's kind of like a mesh layer right there that kind of lets the powder come through, and then the lid has a stopper in it so it doesn't go all over the place. It's really brilliant, I think. I'm gonna be taking a smaller brush with this powder just to kind of spot mattify. So, oh, this is in the shade Light Medium, by the way. Let's see if this powder gives any more coverage. Oh, I think it definitely helps. So I think this is really helping. I am going to set the under eye area with this as well, but I do feel like it's helping give a little bit more coverage over those blemishes than what the concealer was doing on its own. It's obviously not like super, super full coverage or anything, but it's doing something. So I'm just basically applying this on the areas that I don't want shine, which is around the T-zone, anywhere that I can powder. This kind of like picked up some of the pigment from the blush. I mean the coverage, it kind of picked up some of the coverage underneath. So you can see now some of the redness that was there before. So I'm just taking what's left on the brush and kind of trying to conceal some of those a little bit more, but I obviously don't want to get rid of the cloud paint. So next, I'm going to go in with the Glossier Lash Slick Mascara. This is a really good mascara. It's definitely great for those like no makeup days, just because it's not going to add tons and tons of volume. It's just going to really enhance the lashes that you've already got. Like it doesn't clump at all. At least not on me. I really like it for that. It seriously just looks like my lashes, but better. And I'm adding this to the top and bottom lashes. So I want to try to kind of get up close so you can see my lashes, like zero clumpage. Just kind of enhances them. Adds a little bit of length, nothing crazy though. So it just looks like your lashes, but tinted almost. So I was not intending to use so many colors of the cloud paint, but I'm just adding a little bit of the shade called Puff just to like the apples of the cheeks, because since there's not bronzer, I feel like I need something, personally, I just feel like I need something a little bit more bright to liven up my face. So I'm just adding a bit of that color for a little bit more pink. You know how I am with my blush. I love blush. So I feel like that looks better to me. All right, let's go with Glossier Boy Brow, my favorite product for sure from Glossier. Well, no, I have two, and I'll tell you what the second one is in a minute. But this is such a good brow setting product. Seriously, love this stuff so much. So I'm just gonna run this through the brows. This is in the shade Brown, and it just gives like the best feathery, full looking brows ever. And I don't even have brows, and it makes mine look like zhuzhed up, you know? This comes in lots of shades as well. They even have a clear one, so there are options. If ever I feel like it got too clumpy, I'll just take a spoolie of some sort and kind of brush through that. Okay, we are kind of nearing the end. For lips, I have 4 shades of the Glossier Generation G lip colors. These are a little bit more of a matte finish. Since I have a lip balm on, it might be a little bit more glossy, I guess. But these are really, really fun lip products. I actually just picked up the shade Zip, which is like a super fun red. But the ones that I feel like I use the most would be Cake and Like, which is like a purple berry. The other one that I have is called Leo, which is a really nice kind of brown chestnut color almost. This looks really nice actually on the lips. So those are the ones I have. I'm not sure which one I should wear. In fact, maybe I will swatch them on my hand so we can kind of choose. These are buildable too, so you can get like that popsicle stained lip if you just kind of pat it on the lips, and then you can build it up to a more pigmented kind of look. So we have Zip, Leo, Like, and Cake. So as you can see, Cake and Like. Yes, Cake, Like, yes. Cake is more of a nude. That's a little bit more brown, and then we have some pops of color. So I'm wondering what I should do. Maybe I'll show you guys what Cake looks like, because I feel like most people would like this shade for an everyday situation. So I'm just gonna start to kind of build that up. and it's really not gonna look like too much at all. So that's a great kind of nude color for every day, isn't it? I really like it. But I might use something a little bit brighter. I'll show you what like looks like. Like looks like. So you can really build it up. This kind of pigment is after me going over my lips several times. You could really just do more of a stain, but I do like a little bit more of a full color. And then I'll take my finger and just kind of pat that in. I think that looks nice with the cheek color. I'm actually gonna take what's left on my finger of that lip color and run it in the crease of the eye just to kind of tie it all together slightly more. I like that one on me. However, I'm going to show you how gorgeous this lip gloss is. This is also one of my favorite products. So maybe I have 3 top favorite. Boy Brow, the gloss, and then one more I'm going to share with you at the end that you've probably already heard me talk about. This is just their lip gloss, and honestly, it is like one of the glossiest glosses I have ever used, which is fitting for Glossier. So I'm going to layer this right on top. I've actually never done this before with this shade of Generation G. Oh my gosh. Do we see the gloss that is happening here? I love this stuff so much, and it really does look beautiful on top of lip colors, but I also love this by itself. It just enhances my natural lip color if I'm not wearing anything underneath. I kind of want to add a little bit of this halo scope on the inner corner of my eye. I don't think I've ever tried that. I'm just gonna take a brush and dip it right onto the halo scope, and let's see what happens. Did it do anything? Oh yeah, it did. It's very subtle though. And let's put some right under the brows, shall we? Just for a little bit of something. Let's finish off the look with my very favorite Glossier product, the Glossier You Perfume. People, this is the most incredible scent ever. It's something that's so different and so unique, but this is literally the only perfume I've been wearing since last November. I can't wear anything else. This is so yummy. I get so many compliments on this, and I love how it's subtle. It doesn't give me a headache, but again, it's so unique. So I'm gonna spritz this. Honestly, though, I wish you could smell it through the camera. I just do 1 squirt. So I'll just do 1 on my wrist and kind of pat that everywhere. Sometimes I'll spray it in the air and walk through it. 1 spray is enough for me. 2 sprays can kind of put me in headache zone. I'm really sensitive to fragrance. I get headaches a lot, and this does not do that for me. And it just lingers on my clothes, and like literally, it's my favorite fragrance. It's so good. If you place an order on Glossier, it's so funny. I always get the sample, even though I have a full bottle. You can get a sample. So if you buy anything and you just want to kind of test out the fragrance, make sure to add the sample of the perfume to your cart, and it will come in your order, which comes in these gorgeous pink bags. Oh my gosh, so cute. I love these, and it also comes with stickers. Guys, I have so many of these sticker sheets lying around because of all the orders I've placed on Glossier, but anyway, that was a ramble. Okay, obsessed with this lip combo. Let's be honest, I absolutely love it. There is the final look. What do we think? I have my opinions. I'll tell you what I think. Listen, okay, if you squint and you can't see my blemishes and I turn like this, it's like, wow, she's hydrated, she's glowy, she's dewy. I'm into that. It looks like her, but better. Okay, so like so many of these products look so beautiful. That halo scope highlight, the blush, the gloss, everything, the boy brow. I love it. I love it all. However, you can still see quite a bit of discoloration and quite a bit of my scars underneath. So with that being said, I don't think I will use strictly Glossier again until I can kind of even out my skin tone a little bit more. And what I mean by that is I think I would use so many of these products. Like I would use the Halo Scope and the Cloud Paint and the Wowder, but I would need something more than the Perfecting Skin Tint. Or if I want to use the skin tint, I would use a more heavy duty concealer. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I would kind of replace one of these products with something a little bit more concealing, more evening of the skin tone, and I think I would have a gorgeous look. If your skin is not quite like mine and maybe you have a more even skin tone, I think that this routine would look stunning on you, especially if you've got freckles. Like the skin tint would definitely let those kind of shine through. So it just depends on you, but of course I always like to kind of tell you guys what I think as somebody who has a little bit more of a problem skin type, in which case you can definitely tweak these products to make them work. I still love the skin tint. Again, I would just use a concealer on top, or I would use a more full coverage, maybe even foundation like the Estee Lauder Double Wear Water Fresh Nude foundation, or even the Flower Beauty Light Illusion foundation. And then I think you could use maybe the stretch concealers to cover up blemishes with a base that's a little more full coverage underneath. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely love how this looks. I think another thing that would make me want to use something more full coverage with the complexion products is just, I felt like that was like a lot of time for me to sit there like patting concealer in and really blending it out to try to make it cover up my blemishes. And so as like a time saving thing too, I would use something more full coverage on myself. So other than that, I'm very, very happy with how this turned out. And I feel like myself, but just slightly enhanced. This is such a great brand for those no makeup, everyday kind of looks. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, these products are products that I have used before that I really, really enjoy. The only things that maybe I'm not as floored about as everything else would be the serum. I'm still using this, that's why I'm saying that. The lip balm, I just tend to use something different. I just find myself grabbing different things. Same goes with the priming moisturizer. These products are not bad products. I've just noticed myself reaching for other things instead. If you guys are not aware, I'm actually a Glossier rep, which means that you can get 20% off of your order. So I'll have that link down below. That is not why I made this video. I'm genuinely a true fan of Glossier, and I have been for a really long time. And I recommend these products to so many people, and it's not because I'm a rep. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, these are genuinely some of my favorite products that I shared with you today. So again, the link will be down below. If you want to shop with me, you definitely can. I kind of list some of my other favorites on there, and you can get 20% off. So I also highly recommend the sweatshirt. This sweatshirt is not cheap though, okay? But it is worth every penny. I can't tell you how many times I've worn this. It's so soft. And if you're wondering, I'm usually a small in like tops, but I went one size up so that it could kind of be more loose and I could wear it with leggings. So I am wearing a medium. And I've loved it. It's amazing. It's kind of oversized and just, I love it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for sitting through this with me on your Saturday. I love you all so much. Honestly, it is such a blast for me to film these videos, and I can't believe that so many of you have subscribed and always come back to my channel and leave such incredible comments. I hope you know how amazing you are. You guys are some of the best people that I have ever met. I know a lot of us haven't met in person before, but I stalk your Instagrams, I comment back, we have conversations, I DM so many of you, and you just all have hearts of gold. And I'm so grateful that I have so many friends because of YouTube. You guys are, seriously, I feel like we're friends, and I'm just so grateful for you. I feel like I'll say that in every video, but I can't express it enough. You guys are the reason why I'm able to do this full time. You're the reason why I'm able to live out my dreams, and I will never take that for granted. And I'm so grateful for every single one of you. If you haven't joined the family yet, I would love to have you on board. You can join the family by clicking on the subscribe button, and if you want to be a part of the notification squad, which means you'll be one of the first people to see my video because you'll get a notification, just go ahead and click on the bell after you subscribe, and that'll just mean you'll be notified when I upload, which is on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So guys, I wish you could smell this perfume. I'm like so joyful right now because it smells so good. I'm ready to go shop at Walmart. Do you know what I mean? That's like my favorite thing to do. My Walmart has a pretty epic makeup section, and so it's just like, it's so therapeutic for me to go to Walmart and just shop the aisles of drugstore makeup, and I feel like that's the vibe I have today. So I love you all so much. I've said that so many times, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye.